Alright guys, KP Jax here again. And I say again because I just shot an entire video and figured out that my microphone wasn't on. So, since I don't script these things, KP Jax here. Today we're going to talk about pixels and megapixels. I was asked today by a friend who is looking to buy a new camera. And they're not very tech savvy. And they were really just looking and basing their decision on megapixels. So I really, I get into the nitty gritty of devices, the camera, the megapixels, the mirror, the CMOS, the CCD, the lighting and aperture and all that stuff. And I'm by no means a photographer or photography pro. This is just stuff that I've had to look up in the past to make my own decisions or help other people make decisions for their needs. So with that said, buying a camera or any device should not solely rely on the number of pixels or megapixels. The word pixel really came out of two words: pixel, picture element, way back when movies first started, like way back, not silent films, but probably around the 60s. I want to say that it kind of really came to light, and it was really, that was some dude in NASA who was trying to like describe how they broke up pictures that came back from satellites and probes that we sent out to space. So that's what a pixel is. A pixel is the smallest programmable point on your screen. If you look at your computer, if you were to super duper magnify down on your screen, you'd find these little itty bitty tiny dots. Every dot is a pixel. And so what's a megapixel? Well, a pixel is one, a megapixel is a million. So what that means is my first digital camera way back in 1999, I want to say, 1998 maybe, was a Sony CyberShot that had like 3.3 megapixels. Our cell phones didn't even have cameras on them at that time. My Nikon D40X shoots in, I believe, 10 megapixels, which is great. My Samsung Galaxy S6, I believe, has a 14 megapixel camera, which means that it shoots bigger, not necessarily better, but bigger pictures than my camera. So a megapixel allows you to take bigger pictures, so that if you were to scale them, meaning if you want to blow up your pictures to like a poster or a billboard, you need more megapixels. So your standard camera way back in the day of like 1 to 3 megapixels was fine for your computer monitor. Anything a little bit higher, 3 to 5 to 7, was probably good for photos, for like the 4x6s and 8x10s and 14x11s. And then you start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, obviously, with LED TVs and LCDs and 4K TVs, the more pictures, the better quality you're going to have. It's like going from an old standard CRT television to a brand new LED smart television. It just, the look and the brilliance of the lighting and the colors and the shading and the darks and lights is drastically different. So that's what a megapixel and a pixel are. When you're looking at cameras, you got to know what you're going to be shooting. When we got our camera to take a picture of our kids, 8 years ago, is this D40X is when I got it, 8 years. And we've had to fix it one time because, believe it or not, items are made to fail. So this thing can only shoot a couple 100,000 pictures before the guts of it decide to not work anymore. And so my, $1,000 camera has had to have a $200 repair, but I'm glad I can repair it, because most of the stuff these days comes, they come and really you're at a point where it almost costs more to fix it than it does to just buy a new one, and you just chuck it in the dirt. You throw it away and you just more garbage. So we try not to be wasteful and reuse everything. Just like something simple, the food we ate tonight for dinner, there wasn't enough for leftover, so whatever people didn't eat, that goes in the compost bin out back, and then that feeds our garden. So other than meat and dairy, you don't want to do that because they rot and get all nasty. But so back to cameras and pictures. You need to know what you're shooting. So if you're unexperienced, take somebody with you. If you're solely gonna base your purchase on how many megapixels the camera has, by any means, the more megapixels, the better. If that is your only thing that you're judging basing your decision on. But if you're gonna be a professional photographer, you need to know how the camera does in low lighting, really dark lighting, bright lighting, because you don't want to wash out your pictures. You need to know how the CMOS or the CCD work. You need to know if your camera has a mirror or not, because a lot of even the new cameras, they don't come with a mirror anymore. And what I mean by that is, if you were to open up a DSLR, there's a little mirror inside of that, and so things happen. It really just depends on what you're going to be doing. So, but in the big scheme of things, that's what a megapixel versus a pixel are. I hope it was educational. I'm going to try to put out some more of these because I've been asked a lot of questions like, how is a computer made? How is a CPU made? What is RAM? How does it function? Things like that. So I'm going to try to put together some things like that, and hopefully they go well and you guys like them. So remember, like, subscribe, comment, and share. Sharing is really the most important part. That way we can get this channel out there, and I can do more and get a bigger audience and get more feedback and put videos out that you guys want to hear. So if you have questions or you want to know something techie, shoot me a question and I'll try to make a video on it.